What
Uh,
these women need to look at too is when you're following these people, do you want their life, right?
ooh,
Are
great
you
point.
looking at them and thinking, I want to be just like her? She looks miserable. She seems miserable. Is this so? Do you want your life to be just like hers? Probably not.
Okay, well, today's topic, by the way, if you're seeing this on the Quartering YouTube channel, this is a segment from our daily live stream channel over on Quartering Live, where we're live every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to leave the link in the description down below and in the pinned comment. Please do, if you're a YouTube viewer, YouTube only viewer, we're also obviously live on Rumble, but if you're a YouTube only viewer, please do consider subscribing to Quartering Live. We're live every day at 2 Eastern, and we would love to see you there. Now, this is an issue, just so you know, you have the right one when you see it. You know, there, go subscribe after you watch this video or during.
Aw.
The kamikaze Karen is something that I want to ask two women about. And, you know, I have two lovely female co-hosts twice a week. And I don't really understand. Here's this video. Okay. This is Sarah Joy Brockschmidt, aka Mossy Matriarch, who has ties to the super soldiers, Trantifa. You can see the smug smile. You can see the septum piercing. So you already know she's going to say some dumb stuff. Let's hear what she has to say. So ICE is doing door-to-door raids in Seattle now. And this is the advice she has for her viewers.
Hey y'all, I am not at home today because ICE is now going door to door in Washington State in
I don't know why she'd be worried about that, but okay.
Tacoma, Olympia, Everett, Linwood, and I think Seattle as well. So, super fun. We know they are not just going after immigrants now, they're also going after protesters and political activists.
Also not true.
So, please remember this is also a stand your ground state. They have to have a judicial warrant to get into your house, which most of these ICE agents do not. You do not have to open the door. And if they do come into your house, you have the legal right to stand your fucking ground. So that is the law.
So what we have, and I could pull up 1,000 videos like this. I mean, they all look like this. They're all raging about men. And they're all telling their followers essentially to end up getting themselves shot. She is without a doubt implying directly, hey, look, if they come in your house, you can just shoot them. We live in a stand your ground state. And we all know how that's going to work out. Some idiot's going to watch this and they're going to do something stupid and they're going to die. It's never going to be any of these women that are gassing up all their followers. It's going to be, you see all these people that they're in their cars or they're in their fancy houses or they're in, what is it, do you think? Is it just a clout thing? Or I tend to think like, you know, why are these people inciting other women? Because we see who's protesting. It's almost exclusively white liberal women. Is it that I've talked about this. Is it that they're watching too many true crime podcasts? Is it that they're doing this just for social credit? What is making these women want bad things to happen to other women?
I think they're just gullible and they fall for these ploys all the time of like, oh, the poor immigrants and this and that, and they don't realize what they're speaking against. They're speaking against the people, these ICE agents who are protecting women from being abused by illegal immigrants, murdered, assaulted, all of this stuff. And so they're speaking against their own best interest when they do stuff like this. And by encouraging people to shoot these ICE agents, then they're going to get people killed. Look what just happened recently with that one shooting. It's just like, okay, if she wouldn't have been so indoctrinated by this whole narrative, then she would still be with us today. So it's just like I think they almost like it when things like that happen, because then they can just be posting on social media all the more and all of this stuff and try to paint ICE as some like murderous people. And it's not good.
I think women have this long tradition of being at the forefront of social reform. I remember, I mean, they're the one who got us prohibition. They were instrumental in campaigning for it. I'm not saying that they're always on the right side of history, but it is something that if you get enough women together, often they are pretty good at getting some kind of social or cultural change to happen. positive or negative. In this case, I think there is this I think there's this performativeness to this particular thing. Like you're pointing out, why is Septum Ring Girl not at home because of ICE? Like maybe she's here illegally at that point. Like I would deport her, you know. But also
first year net negative migration in 50 years. USA, USA.
Look, go team. I'm not against it. But the thing is, like with this girl, it seems more like she's wanting to be in her car and be urgent to be like empathetic to people who are here illegally who might be concerned about being detained by ICE. It doesn't really make sense other than to point out to her followers that she is both well informed. She's listing off tips of what you can and can't do, and also that she is dedicated to the cause. I think there is the natural feminine instinct to be a part of the community and to have high levels of social empathy. I don't necessarily think those things have to be bad. I think we want strong communities, but it's sort of misplaced. These skills are being used to, they're being represented as I care about what's going on in the world, but really it's to promote chaos and discord. And I don't actually think that's good.
Everything they promote is to destroy society, to destroy the world, and to destroy women. Like they get like what? Why are they not
pro-abortion,
speaking about,
right?
they're not speaking on what's going on in Iran right now. And notice how they just like they always defend like these Muslims, for example, and look at what they did to women with the Muslim takeover in Iran right now. And now you've got all these protesters who are dying, right, for the freedoms that they want, that we have, and that we take for granted, and that people like her are trying to get us in a situation that could snowball into something like that. So it's just insane.
Well,
I think there's this level of like cognitive dissonance, right? They're like, we can't talk about what's going on in Iran because it goes against our narrative that America is the worst country on earth and it's the most, it's the least feminist place, even though women are allowed to drive and do all kinds of things they're not allowed to do in the Middle East. And so it has to be more about shifting the goal to being like, well, I'm actually for members of our community who are living in terror, and that's how virtuous and righteous I am. Even though actually, if I compared these things, it would make sense for me to be talking about what's going on in Iran, not necessarily what's going on with this hypothetical fear mongering that I am contributing to.
Well, you basically have what I think is you have some of these women appear to me like fem-cels, and they are angry all the time and they don't know why. And so the target of their anger is always, you know, in my opinion, other women. I wonder if maybe I'm looking at this too deeply, but this woman went viral too. Remember we talked about her? Like she put out this video. I'm looking for a man to go F stuff up, a beta man who will go sit,
in the passenger seat.
Yeah, she did all that. And then after everyone made fun of her, here she is crashing out immediately.
Wipe my information from the internet because they were posting like maps of my house.
Now she said she wanted to go out there and F stuff up, but see how quickly her tone turns? Like, and she basically says a quiet part out loud again.
It's crazy. All because I said I don't like men.
That's
You're
not
so
even
mad.
what
That was
she,
it, girl.
You're
I
so
think
mad
missed
that
the
I
point.
don't.
She's like, wow, no big deal. I just said I don't like men. Like, wow, what if a man went on camera and said, I don't like women? What would she say about that?
Yeah, I mean, if she got too, you know, she probably could use, go to the doctor and get a prescription for Tridixagen. This is like a woman that just hates men and she's doing all this in her brand new keffiyeh she got from Amazon that was made by slaves in Libya or whatever. And I just feel like I feel like, okay, so women, you know, nobody hates women more than women. That's
so true.
That's never,
true.
that's been, I mean, I have a sister. I saw how cruel girls are to other girls. The stuff that her best friends did to her when we were in high school paled in comparison to the worst things I ever did to people I hated. And like, I just feel like maybe there's some sick level of like, they're telling other women to go out there and jump in front of SWAT teams.
Yeah.
They're telling other women, you know, men don't watch these women on TikTok. They're telling their female viewers, yeah, you should sit in your house with a gun and trust me, an internet person, to just fire on ICE because stand your ground. Let me tell you, that is not going to work. If ICE breaks down your door and you shoot them, not only are they going to kill you, but you are not going to be justified in court. They're not going to say, they're not going to come into court and say, well, yeah, they didn't have that's just not how it's going to work. And they're telling them, get your whistle, lay down in front of police cars. But you notice how none of these women are filming themselves doing what they're telling other women to do. To me, I almost think like people call it a psyop, but it's like,
Yeah.
I think it's like I don't know if they're being told to say this stuff or if they're just getting off and putting other women, like if you cared about women, you would say, look, I know what's crazy going on there, but look, if you're going to go, here are the top 5 things to stay safe. Don't let the crowd gas you up into entering the street. Don't put your, I saw a video last night of like this soy boy that looks like an op that was like, we're going to Minnesota to fight all these commies. And I like quote tweeted, I'm like, please don't. It's like, don't listen to these people who are going to ruin your life. They're not out there doing what they tell you to do. I just don't know what motivates, if it's just fantasy or whatever, but they aren't. I'm like, listen to our 7% female viewers, like, please, if you're going to go protest, stay on the sidewalk. Don't get dragged and don't get caught on camera, totaling an ICE vehicle and stealing their rifles, because you're going to go to prison. I don't care what any woman tells you on TikTok. You can very clearly see this woman uploaded a video saying, I wanted all that smoke. And then 12 hours later, she's like, oh my God, people have found out what I said and I'm suffering.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, she's performing, right? She's like,
Yes.
I'm so tough. First off,
Brand
that's
new
the worst dating
Carhartt
appeal I've ever
overhauls.
heard. Right.
Yeah.
Like the worst dating appeal of all time being like, everything about me. This is the things that I want. I don't care about anything else. Like, good luck finding a man. I feel like that's a very negative energy to bring into a relationship. Men do this too. And
course.
then
Yeah.
freaking out that her comments were getting like prompting people to want to like release her information because she's going to go whatever, mess stuff up. It to me is like, I thought you were tough. I thought that you were so strong and you were brave and you don't care. And it's the same thing by being like, well, like I remember I knew this girl and she put on Facebook during the Black Lives Matters rally is like, white people, it's your job to put your bodies between
Yes.
cops and POC. And like, it just wanted to be like, first off, you're tiny and petite. Like you're going to do nothing to help anyone if that was really the goal. And second off, like, I don't think that you would actually do that. I think that you are trying to act like you are the boldest and bravest and the most dedicated to this weird cause. And that you are, again, community minded in the sense that you're willing to sacrifice yourself. There's this lust to become the next martyr. And I totally
It's like a
agree with you.
fantasy, right? Like
Right. And they're leading people astray. I mean, they don't actually know. I think it would be better to not advocate for violence, which is what they're doing, and find other ways to help people if you really wanted to do this. I don't think you should shelter illegal immigrants, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
It's like living out a fantasy. It's like they have developed this mindset of like what it would be like to be the chic new social justice warrior. But in actuality, if they came to the moment, they would either potentially harm themselves and others with their cluelessness, or they wouldn't do anything that they're saying that other people should do.
I'm going to kick it to Melanie in a second. I wanted to put this back out there because I mentioned this before. I think I mentioned it on our live stream. By the way, again, if you're watching this clip, please do subscribe if you're a YouTube only viewer to Quartering Live. I think I'd really love to see you live at 2 Eastern, or you can watch it later. It's like when we saw that woman crying out after her girlfriend had her face get, 3 holes put in it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe, why did you have to use real bullets? That's what she said. Like, these women are like, what did you think? And those women were probably on TikTok watching other women gas them up and say, you need to do this. And I just don't, is it because they don't have Christ in their life, Melanie? Or is it because they don't have, none of these women have men in their lives, from what I can see either.
Yeah, so not only do they not have Christ in their not only do they not have Christ in their life, but they're going against the order that God created. God created women to be a helper to their husband, right? And so they're really lacking of that foundation in their life. They don't have Christ, which is the most important foundation to have first and foremost, and then to be led by a God-fearing man, right? And
Yeah.
so they're lacking both of these things. They're directionless, and instead they're seeking TikTok, other women on TikTok, miserable women on TikTok. They're seeking them for advice, and they're destructive. All of these things, just like Hannah Claire said, that all of these things that they keep promoting and pushing and advocating for destroys society. They're jumping onto like the whole transgender movement that destroys society. All of the gay stuff destroys society. Allowing a bunch of illegal immigrants here destroys society. You see the crimes that they're committing against women. That's what's insane. How can these women call themselves feminists and they want to act like, oh, we care about women, whenever they're advocating for allowing these criminals to come here and who are hurting women, murdering women, right?
70% of the people they have deported have active or pending charges.
Yep.
70%. Now, yes, some small percentage of them will be, other than crossing the border legally, law-abiding citizens. They still have to go back. And I implore women out there to you are who you hang out with. And that used to be true of your friend group. Now that's who you watch online. And these women they are doing this for likes and clicks. I'll wrap it up by saying this. Ask yourself why none of these women are showing themselves on the front lines doing what they're asking you to do.
Yes.
And this is very true for people on the right. Like, we're going to Minnesota, we're going to do this. No, don't go ruin your life for some idiot to get, that is not good advice. And McCall says, us on the right know the consequences of going toe to toe to the government and how it should be for a real cause, not for foreign or violent criminals. They haven't dealt with any consequences. That's a great point. They've gone their whole life and never had any consequences. They've never been told no. They've never been called a stupid bitch to their face. They've never been arrested. Or if they were, it was a $50 misdemeanor and they got to post it on Facebook and they got positive reinforcement for that. Darks said, these women don't have a man that loves them. Just like Good was disillusioned straight woman that went lesbo after a bad experience with a man. They want love and they do anything for attention. Yeah. William Crane says they're bored liberal incel women with malignant maternal instincts. Yeah.
What these women need to look at too is when you're following these people, do you want their life, right?
Ooh, great
Are you
point.
looking at them and thinking, I want to be just like her? She looks miserable. She seems miserable. Do you want your life to be just like hers? Probably not. And if you're going to be taking advice from people on the internet, preferably you're going to look at people whose life that you would rather be more like.
Right. And I think Melanie's spot on. And I would just add, also answer that question honestly. Like, don't say, oh, that's the life I should want. I should want to be, willing to go jump in front of an ice car, or I should be blah, 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 blah. Like, be really honest with yourself and forget what pressure you may feel from your social groups or from whatever, and ask yourself, like, this woman is in her late 30s and her 40s. She's posting about how she needs like a radical man to follow her around and do whatever she wants. She's obviously seeking a lot of validation on the internet. She doesn't seem particularly fulfilled. Like, is this a life that you want? Or just, are you following these types of creators because you feel like it makes you look more informed, or it makes you look like you're saying the right things socially? Because I think that there are a lot of women who know that they don't agree or want these lives, but will tell you they do because they think that's what feminism has taught them.
Right.
To say.
Yeah.
This woman does not seem like a happy woman.
No.
Like, first of all, she's at home in the middle of the day. I mean, maybe she works nights. I don't know. Filming these rage TikToks, instead of hanging out with her friends or, being in a kickball league. One of the things that I try to tell my viewers is that there's only so much we can change in this life, and there's only so much time we have on this planet. That isn't to cuck out and say, you shouldn't get involved with stuff that you think is important. But that is to remind people that if you're living your life for people on the internet or for, whatever cause comes next, and you're going to wake up in your 50s and 60s and realize you've wasted it. And that really, when you, even like I talk about people who get politics brained, like you have to be able to unplug, or essentially the machine wins. And you're just, when you're unhappy, you're not, married, having kids, you're not building up your community, you're not going to your farmer's market, you're not, volunteering your time, you're angry online, you're angry offline, you get worked up, you end up catching a stupid charge. You go to one of these things, you get gassed up, you pick up a tear gas tin that was thrown, you throw it, and it ends up blowing up in a federal officer's face. He gets injured, and you get a 10 years in prison. Like, the machine wins. If you want to talk about, the biblical side of it, like, that's what who would want you in prison? The devil or God? Like, the idea that you're out there doing this stuff, these people are demonic who are telling people, because they don't have the strength of their own convictions. They aren't out on the front lines. This woman bought a brand new pair of Carhartt overalls, didn't even know how to flip and button them. We'll wrap the segment by saying, hey, you just look up Quartering Live, one word, on YouTube, subscribe, and I'll leave the link in the description below too.